People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. It's appreciated. Good afternoon. I hope you're all doing well and safe. It's my lunch break. Had a Tesco's meal deal to eat. I'm sick of tasting them, to be fair with you. I've been a bit lazy. I'm normally good with cooking my own meals and stuff, but I've been lazy. But I'm sure you already know Torreira has one, if not both feet out of this door. I'm sure you've all seen a lot of reports circling in the last hour or so. Not that he's leaving. That's been well documented. You know, Torino and AC Milan's a frequent one and has been a frequent one with the future of Torreira for a couple of months now. You know, you've seen a lot of statements and a lot of speculation coming out of France. The man said France, Spain in particular, in relation to Atletico Madrid and Lucas Torreira. A lot of people are using the phrases or news outlets are saying imminent or in the next few hours. Now, again, I wouldn't mind that if it is true, because it means we've got some resolution over a future. We see where we can move with Torreira leaving, what we can do in the market, and it's one less player that I'm sitting here and making a vid out. Players that want to stay, stay. Players that have any clues about wanting to go, please leave the club. We keep it moving, whether that's Torreira, whether that's Balogun, you know, and you know the rest of these players' names that are linked with moves away. Now, again, you know, I don't know if he's completed a medical and, you know, all of the finer paperwork that needs to be done. So I'd be a long way before I'd say it's imminent. What do I know? By the time I finish this video, it could be announced, but it just doesn't make sense. We've heard no talk of a medical. We've heard Arsenal haven't agreed a fee. Obviously, the Partey thing, again, it might just be two separate deals, but if Atletico are going to play hardball over Partey, that move with Lucas Torreira going there shouldn't be a thing, or we should use that as a bargaining chip. I know there's a lot being said as to how they just want money for Partey, etc, etc. For me, seeing Torreira go is a bit of a weird one, people. It's a weird one. And before I carry on, I forgot to mention, apparently Mario Ribolo, technical assistant for Uruguay, has said Lucas Torreira continues to train with Arsenal, but from what I spoke to him, his arrival at Atletico Madrid is imminent. Obviously, that's courtesy of Google Translate. So what does that tell you? Again, that must mean we could just be taking those words and saying he must have had a medical. It could just be what we all believe in, that move is happening to Atletico Madrid. And to be fair, I'm sad to see Torreira go. Listen, Thierry Henry's left this club, so I don't really care, but I feel like again, we'll never know, because he's been linked with a move away for a while, so he's never settled, and he's probably had this move or leaving the club regardless at the back of his mind. You know, it's nice that he leaves an FA Cup winner. He's got some sort of glory from his time at Arsenal, and he does whatever. So this might not be, you know, because we all know Torreira really shouldn't leave. There's a use for him in the squad, regardless what you feel. Maybe he's just not, you know, he's just not settled. He just doesn't want to be here. And going to Spain, you know, it's a good thing. It's closer to his life in Uruguay, or it must be closer to life in Uruguay than London, without a doubt. You've got Diego Simeone, you know, the system he plays, the sort of players he plays. At 24 years of age, with a lot of learning to do, you can learn and improve and continue to improve as a footballer. He's only 24, and I do think he's going to get one big move. I really rate Torreira highly, maybe too high, but that's not a secret. I say on my channel, we all like players, we all don't like players. If I was Arteta, Torreira would be central. So I think on one hand he wants to move on. The other hand, of course, he might not be a fit tactically. He's not a bad passer, but he can't really pass. And, you know, the last couple of years, you've seen his role move. I think it's a sad one, because, not a sad one, but it's like, I definitely wouldn't say he's been a flop at this club, without a doubt, but it's almost like, it feels like there's unfinished business with Torreira in the side, and it almost feels like it didn't have to go this way, you know. I don't, whether it's injury, whether the man wanted to leave, whether he's not a tactical fit, these are all things we're going to wonder until Arteta or Torreira or people around him opens his mouth. It's a bit sad, but for me, you know, it is what it is. If he wants to go, Arteta doesn't want to use him, the world keeps spinning. The key thing I want to see, and I know it's a COVID market and all of these things, but the man is 24 years of age and he's contracted until 2023. That's unusual in Arsenal, in that you've actually got a sort of thing there. He should be bringing in top value. Now, again, you probably can't command what Torreira should be able to command, because clearly the club have made no secret of wanting to move him on, and Torreira's probably made no secret of wanting to move on. But, you know, if Torreira is to leave, you know, which he is due, you know, you scored against Spurs. That's one of the very least. You know, you've scored, 4 goals or so and got 6 assists here. You've scored against Spurs and Liverpool. You know, I liked your tenacious approach when you did play and you was in the lineup. We all like the chant that Torreira, you know, he was a decent player, man. You've won an FA Cup. You've scored against Thingy Spurs. You can leave with your head held high, man. I think it's been an okay signing. I would say it's been a successful signing, but it just feels like there was more to come from both parties. But it is what it is, man. For me, you know, I just want to see that means we're moving closer to signing a new player, because as these weeks tickle down, you know, unless the club have a plan, you'd imagine we're going to probably have to overpay or probably have to get, you know, run it really down to the wire. And obviously, the longer you take to sign players, the longer they're going to take to need to settle in. I do think there's a beauty in doing business early, but, you know, the club obviously have a plan that's obviously not known to you or I. So to the face of it, it might not look like they're doing anything, but they might be. But on the other hand, like I've been saying since the beginning of the window, I'm going to personally shut my mouth until October or whatever, and then I'll have a lot to say, because it is what it is. It's no secret we need a midfielder. I hope for the best of results, not just today against Leicester City, but also on Monday, following Monday against Liverpool. But you're probably looking in that game, and that's a game that will probably highlight, if you didn't know already, the imbalance in Arsenal's midfield versus theirs, and the golf people. And we're not going to get to Liverpool's stature overnight, you know. You need to be very creative in the market, you know. You've got to see things that people can't see, you know. Not to make this a video about Liverpool, but Mane and Salah, people turn their noses up. They've gone on and been quality, you know. Smart purchases. They've promoted Trent from the academy. They've shelled out on the keeper and the centre-halves when need to be. And they've done little other smart things. We're only going to get there, you know, with time, you know. Arteta's the man, you know. Whether Pepe, I don't think Pepe is going to hit the levels of Mo Salah in that. I would love him to, but, you know, we can get something out of him. He can help this squad. Equally, there's got to be smart, man. You know, Saka's come out the academy. Obviously, Arteta didn't give him his first opportunity, but similar to Trent, they're completely different players, but in the sense of he's come out the academy, come and been a main player and saved them millions, literally, you know. How much I don't even think you can buy Trent for 50 million nowadays if he was at our next club. So we need to be a lot smart in the market, but it starts with doing things. And, you know, we're taking too long to move players on. Like, I was under no illusion, especially in this market, especially the club we are. We weren't going to do all the business we need to do, bring in all the players and get rid of all of the players in one window. But I would have liked to have seen some real progress. We still have gone into a season with speculation over several players' futures. Now, granted, the two I wanted to see was our young promising Bukayo Saka and Aubameyang, who's at a different stage of his career, commit his deal, because it signals, you know, this young man believes this is the best place to spend some development years here. And Aubameyang, in his key years or what's left of his career, he said, you know what, for whatever reason, I'm committing. We can say that's a stupid decision, we can say we agree, but for whatever reason, young and old, they fundamentally agreed that this is the place to be. And that's what I wanted to see, because like, if I was Aouar and I was Partey and I did want to come to this club, and I see Aubameyang leave and I see Saka leave and things like that, I'm going to think, yo, like, walk on. What are you lot trying to do in this thing? Are you lot going to replace them with proper replacements? Like, I don't want to come into this club and be part of the jigsaw thing. So, yeah, I'll cut the club some slack. They confirmed their deals and cool, but, you know, granted, it's not necessarily the main players, but, you know, you can make a case over bare futures, you know. Bellerin is still linked with moves. I don't think he leaves, but what do I know? Maitland-Niles the same, still linked with moves. You've still got the squad players about, the Socrateses, the Mustafis, and, you know, the rest of it, El Nenes. And not to say any of them can't have a part to play. Mustafi shown he can have a role last year. But when you look at their contracts, when you look at, if you in your honest heart over a lot of the names I've said, you know, they've all had patches of play. They all have good games and bad games. But, you know, we've got to look at it without emotion. Like, even with El Nene, big up El Nene and the 2 opportunities he's got this season versus the other appearances he's had. He's not a bad player. And some men have to be used in the squad. But what I'm saying is, look past whatever you feel about the player or the ability and ask yourself, look at every player individually and then assess them as part of the squad. Do you believe that individual man is good enough to help you along your goal over a 38-game period of getting the top 4? You know, and if you say yes, that's fair play, but I'm sure most of you will remove your emotion and say, you know what, none of them are. You know, in isolation, they're not bad players, but, you know, when you've got too many of these sort of man, you know, it does run the risk of being labelled as mediocre, which to a degree it is. You know, I believe in Arteta, I believe in the squad. I'm not a name brand man. I don't think, obviously we'd all have £100 million players and £50 million players and, you know, the creme de la creme young players, the Highlands, the Sanjos, the Asu Fatis, you know, Greenwood, Foden to go with Martinelli and Saka. We love all of them, but not everyone has to be name brand and a star. You know, we just need competent and consistent players. And I'd also say confidence, because confidence is a big thing. You're gonna make mistakes across the course of the season. That's what I'm looking at with Saliba. Obviously, you know, there's mistakes and then there's mistakes. There's mistakes where, you know, you're human. There's mistakes that you've engineered yourself where you need to learn from. But as much as I'm critical of players, you know, let's just say Saliba tries a mad pass. It comes off 10 times. He does it once. It leads to a goal. Obviously, you have to hold your hands up and we assess what you did. But I want to see you try that again. The minute you make that mistake and the opportunity presents itself, try and hit that pass again. Because I do think there's a lot, listen, that we can talk into a blue in the face about technical players and, you know, all of these things and passing range and breaking lines and, you know, Partey's physicality and stuff. We can talk about that. That's all relevant and it's all needed, people. But it's about this upstairs, man, and I think there's going to be hard periods. Anyone can play when the sun's shining. Right now, the sun's shining for Arteta. Everybody's loving what he's doing. We're winning games. We're doing it. When the going gets tough, when we're chasing a game that we need to win if we want top 4, when we need to come back into a game, like I said, when man have made a mistake and there's still 60 minutes to go and the fans are on your back and you know you've effed up, I want to see that you can take these emotions and still go and get a positive result, or still don't let it affect your performance. Because I do have to question, in a nice way, the character of our players. I think Arteta's done well to make them believe they're, you know, invincible to a degree and a siege mentality. But, you know, this is his first full season. We're going to see who can sink and swim, because you have seen a divided crop of players, much like the fan base. You know, you've seen some players, like I said, are showing the right attitude. Win, lose or draw, they're playing in some way. Some players are, forgive me for my language, a bit soft, don't know what's going on, quite scared. Some man don't have a clue. Some man just don't want to be there. Some man are just, you know, all about themselves. You always see in adversity where your squad stands, and your squad is only as strong as your weakest man tactically, technically, and crucially mentally. You know, I'm not going to go for, I don't know these lot as people and know how they look at things mentally. That's down for Arsenal's departments for all of that. But whoever is that weakest in the side, that's as good as we are, people. So it's going to be an interesting one, and we're going to have to see. I apologise for going slightly left. You know, he's meant to focus on Torreira, but you know how it is, man. When I get going, I don't stop. But on that note, people, please, man, stay safe first and foremost. Please vote for me in the Football Content Awards. Please check out my Sunday League team, people, AFC Edmonton. Go head over to their YouTube channel if you want to see me attempt to volley, slice it, and then win the ball back. You know, next episode will be out on Sunday, man. You'll always talk about watching the man then play. We're there. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel, obviously. Like, comment and subscribe and share it and do the rest, man. Hope you're well and safe, and, you know, you will continue to have a great day. But I'm out of here, man. DG.